Anita and Dario Show. The art of savoring, discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment, savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath, unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking, the Mediterranean way.
Happy Easter Monday.
Happy Easter Monday, everyone. Buona Pasquetta. That's how we say in Italy.
For Monday?
Pasquetta.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There is Venerdì Santo, which is Good Friday. Pasqua, Pasquetta.
I'm always learning.
There is a celebration. There is a celebration today in Italy. People don't work, people are relaxing, the civilized way.
I think a lot of people have gone back to work today. Where we're at, except for banks and some stores.
Unfortunately, today was a sad day in Italy. I think pretty much around the world with the loss of our Pope Francis. So, it was just kind of a shocking thing. I mean, everybody in Italy has been calling me nonstop. So, yes, today is a celebration, but is also a lot of sadness.
Yeah, it's very sad hearing that this morning. And, he was able to do Mass yesterday, which was kind of interesting. Now, I'm not Catholic, so, but still the Pope has a dear heart to everyone around the world.
Everyone around the world, yes.
And,
yes.
And very, very important. So, but today we're going to talk about a few things around artichokes. I always find this is so delicious and people are scared of it. So that's why it's good that we're going to be talking about it today.
It's also amazing the way we see it here in North America. That is short like that. In Italy, an artichoke is the old stem, and then you cut it. So, yeah.
And we're also working with the European Union from Artichoke from Europe. So we went there in March, and we saw a lot of products in the market. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable product that they have available there, which is really great. I wanted to show this great thing the kids had given us. Eat well, laugh often. Isn't that amazing? It just sort of sums up everything around the Mediterranean lifestyle and having that appetite for life again.
And we are supposed to put something on if it's hot or not, and we never do it. We never do it. We just keep, because it's such a beautiful token for
our kids. We don't want to ruin it at all.
No.
So a couple things I want to talk about first. Number one is, for those of you that don't know, we do have one space available for a retreat to Amalfi in September. One room. That's it. We have some people that are interested, but if you are interested, reach out. We'd love to hear from you. It's in Amalfi, the 20th of September, and
to the 27th of September.
Yeah. And an ultimate experience. Everything that we're doing, it's wonderful. So please come on over and reach out to us if there's something that you're interested in doing. And then we're releasing the rest coming up soon. We've got Puglia in April. We're looking at introducing Spain, France, and Portugal as well. So those are going to be also trips that we're going to be doing. And they're great experiences. It's just between you being the chef, me being the rich life strategist, we custom to the people that are on the trip, right? So to an extent. And if you need any more information, please reach out to us. We also have the 3 days to the Mediterranean lifestyle that we offer, the 3 secrets. It's kind of like a starting ground to getting into what we're talking about, because there's 8 principles that are available to the Mediterranean lifestyle, and you can incorporate that from anywhere you live. It's not necessarily that you have to live in the Mediterranean. It's where you live that you can get inspired, get the appetite for life back again.
It's funny, inspiration. That's a big thing. We like yesterday, we were enjoying ourselves. We're doing a ritual thing during Easter, and we spend time with the kids, or we do Easter. When kids are growing up, they have the other side of the family, so we have to be respectful for it. And it's this ritual between myself and Anita to just take off and go up to this place not far from us called Collingwood, and we just enjoy ourselves and be thankful, really cherish these moments that we have together, and enjoy to the fullest. So it's important to really spend quality time with people around you.
And hence, that's one of the principles to the Mediterranean lifestyle. Yeah, people still are sort of asking, and once you go through the 3 secrets and understand exactly how it can change your life and what it can do. What else did I want to talk about? We're going to be at Cial. I think Dario mentioned that last week. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. I've been dealing with this cold thing for a while, but much better now. So Cial, which is a food innovation show in Toronto. Dario is going to be there representing European Union and food and fruits and vegetables from Europe. Specifically, this one will be, I think it's cauliflower, artichoke. You're going to be showcasing eggplant, some dishes that are going to be delicious, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you there.
Yeah, and then we are doing this event at Italy, downtown Toronto in Yorkville, and that's going to be basically a cooking class, back-to-back cooking class,
masterclass.
One focus on olive oil from Europe. And the second one is going to be, again, fruit and vegetable from Europe. So it's exciting, give us an opportunity to showcase and share simplicity of, we say all the time, Mediterranean living.
And we're doing a couple events with the media as well. So that's going to be an interesting thing, showcasing some of the different products between olive oil, fruits and vegetables, different products that are available. That are maybe a little bit different. I mean, we always like to promote local.
Yes.
Ideally, if it's available here, to be able to do those things. And a lot of our cooking shows do showcase that. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting our garden going again. It's always so delicious when you have freshness.
And it's really about really understanding, the respect for local, number one. Okay. And see what is local out there, using whatever is around yourself and make it beautiful and present.
We got a major downpour here.
Oh, well, that's good. It's going to clean up all the impurity.
Anyway, so Dario, are we going to get into artichokes? Because I know a lot of people have a difficult time understanding what to do with artichokes. I know when I've been to restaurants, a lot of times they cook it and then you suck the juice out of the leaves, but there's so many different ways of creating it. And I know you have some very unique ways to cook it.
Well, artichoke. So this is the same plain artichoke. Number one, you got to check the firmness of the artichoke. We are getting towards the end of it, of the timing for artichoke. But I want to show you something. How you pick an artichoke?
I'm going to move this down so people can see it a little bit better.
Okay. There. So you want to look at it, and I'm going to take a little bit of and you see over here, one is there is less of the white underneath, is because the artichoke is still fairly fresh. So one of the first things you're going to do is...
Am I going to be able to ask questions while we go through this? I'm going to be a pain.
Yes.
You're used to that. So what do you suggest when someone buys an artichoke? How do they know?
That's what I was.
So they have to actually cut that?
No. You got to feel it.
Okay.
You got to feel like that. The pressure that is going to be fairly hard.
Okay.
Now, on the top here, you can feel that it's a little bit softer. Well, we're coming towards the end of it. So there really is not too much there. But we are going to still feel the bottom over here, because this is the part really we are going to be eating mainly. And also the stem, and people don't know, and I'm going to show you why. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the outside leaf. The outside leaf are really rough and hard to eat. Okay, so you coming down towards, and I'll show you in a second.
So it's basically the first two layers.
The first two, sometimes even 3 layers, right? Okay. So I'm gonna discard this one.
Can you reuse this for anything? Like
No.
put it in a soup or anything?
No.
To make a stock? No?
When they're fresh, sometimes you can make a broth that's fairly bitter. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful with that. But right now, no, I wouldn't be using it for anything. Absolutely not.
So when I go to the restaurant and I'm sucking out that leaf, is it that I'm doing, or have they taken the outside?
You are taking the bottom leaf of that. Okay, this one is just too hard to eat right now.
Okay.
I mean, you could still, and what you're sucking, basically, you're pulling down, but the part you're eating is this one over here. See the little things over here? So I'm going to show you quickly. This part over here is what you're actually eating.
Can I try it?
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is really turn this part over here. It's a little bit difficult, but what I want to do is working right underneath of it.
Hope everyone can see that. So that's kind of what it looks like. He's cutting off the bottom until the edge of the stem.
And I'm going to be very careful, okay? Like that. Look at that. Very, very. Why am I doing that? For two reasons. Because this one is also extremely, extremely good. Let me just quickly show you.
Can I just show them?
Yeah, I'm going to show them. So do you see what I'm doing here? Now you got to be very careful because this thing is going to oxidize extremely quickly. So what I have here, I have water and lemon. So the acidulated water prevent the artichoke from oxidizing. You see, it's almost like clearing all the oxidization of the artichoke. So then I put it back here, and I'm going to use this water. So at this point, there is a part here that I want to remove. And the knife you're using for that is a serrated knife. Don't use any other knife if you can. And what I'm going to do, let your knife run. Remove this part, which is really bitter, and we open it, and you can see here, okay, right here, this is called the choke, okay, inside.
Yeah, hold it up a little bit closer because I think we're a little bit far.
See right here is the choke. So what you can do, you scoop the choke right out. Artichoke, yes. You can scoop it right out. Let me just see if I can do it with a spoon.
It's like a flower.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do, and it's really difficult to do it, but you can see it is coming, the stuff is coming out. See? Look at that. And it's coming right out. Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. So I'm taking all this stuff out. Then I'm going to open it, okay, like a flower.
Does all the pink have to go out? No.
Not all of it. So, yeah. So all this stuff is going to be open. And what can you do with that? Very simple. You can remove more of this stuff. You can stuff them with some parsley, some basil, some mint, some chopped garlic or sliced garlic, olive oil. Stuff it. Put them in a pot with a little bit of oil, a clove of garlic, put them upside down, and let them braise with a little bit of white wine, a little bit of stock, and let them go really, really slowly. Okay? The other thing more common to do when it's to this point, you can do this. We can cut it in half. And now I can show you a little bit better. Look at this. See that stuff over here? We're going to do this. I'm going to put this one in the acidulated water because I want to not discolor.
The water with lemon.
So here we go. Look at that. I want to remove this.
Oh, can I just show people what that looks like?
That's a beard. We in Italy, we call it la barba.
It's like it really looks like a beard.
So we want to remove that. Okay. And I'm going to remove all that. Very gentle.
But you can go with it if you wanted to. You could eat it.
Not really.
No?
No. When you braise, it's different. Okay. But look at what I'm doing here. So I'm taking all this stuff out. Very gentle. Okay. Because it's kind of a nasty to eat it. But you see how nice see how furry it is? So we want to remove that. Okay. And watch what I'm doing with this. And this is the classical thing to do if you want to make a pasta, if you want to make a salad. Okay? And that's what you are having. Something completely like that. So what I like to do, okay, if I want to make a half a stuffed artichoke, okay? So think about you having friends over, okay? I'm going to keep in acidulated water, guys, because I want to make sure that then it doesn't discolor like that. So think you gotta have some people over.
What do you call it again? Acidulated.
Acidulated water. Acid, which is lemon.
Okay.
Okay. So what I like to do with this, okay, is I can stuff them. Okay, you get a container, you get a stuffing with maybe some warm breadcrumbs, soaked breadcrumbs with a little bit of milk, some Parmesan cheese, some fresh herbs, some egg yolks, herbs, garlic, and then you stuff them. You put them in a container, a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, okay, and then you put them like that, lined up, and you let them braise, okay. The other thing, and you cook them slowly in the oven, 375 degrees, a very long, until they become nice and tender, okay? And then they become a little gooey from the cheese coming out. Another good thing to do is to make a risotto.
Let's take a picture.
Wow.
Look at that. I
To
can
make-
send some of that to you guys later.
To make a risotto, it's very simple. Now the artichoke is completely done. We're gonna slice it very thin this way. Keep it in acidulated water, and then you cook it into the risotto. Now, when would you cook it? At the beginning. You don't cook it at the end.
How big of a chunks do you need?
You cut them fairly thin.
Very thin.
Fairly thin. Okay. When you start the risotto, you know, you have your onions, your shallots, you start them. You add the artichoke, you let the artichoke cook. Then you add the rice. To make a pasta, you can make some pappardelle e carciofi. Fantastic this time of the year. Artichoke, again, thinly sliced, a clove of garlic, okay, some olive oil. We let them cook, and then deglaze them with a little bit of white wine, some fresh parsley, some fresh mint. Delicious, okay. Another great way of doing it, remember the first time when we kept them all whole like that, is an artichoke called artichoke alla Judea, which is classical in a region of Rome, and is actually your fried artichoke. Okay, which what do you do with that? We can put it up maybe a little bit, yeah, so we can see each other. Which is basically the old artichoke removed like we done it. We show you guys at the beginning, and then fry them in a little bit of olive oil. Okay, and they open like a flower, and then you drizzle a little bit of olive oil, sangre de pecorino, and you eat it like that.
So you would take
Yeah.
out the center, you would take out the beard.
That's right. You stuff them, and then you fry them.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people bake them. So
you can bake them exactly the way I at the beginning I was telling you guys.
you put some olive oil on it.
Olive oil on the bottom of the pan.
Mhm.
You put the artichoke clean, stem side up.
Okay.
Stem side up because the wedges are going to overcook. Okay.
So it would be like this.
Yeah.
Everything has been removed, the outer layer,
Yes.
the
Yep.
flour,
Yeah.
and all the rest.
Yeah. And then you're going to obviously cut it like that. Stuff them. Why am I saying stuffing them? Even if you put a little bit of herbs, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of olive oil, so the flavor inside penetrates. Okay? So you don't want to just braise them like that. Otherwise, it really tastes like nothing. And then braise them in the oven, a little bit of white wine, some olive oil. If you need a little bit of chicken stock, put it, and just let it go until they're tender. What do you mean by tender? Until you put in a knife or a skewer, and you feel them give you very little resistance. When it's done, you can take it out. You can remove the artichoke from the liquid, put them on a plate, okay? And then you let the liquid reduce a little bit until it makes a little bit of a sauce, and then you cover the artichoke.
So can I just ask, so you would put, let's say, a cast iron pan
Yeah.
with a little bit of olive oil. You've already stuffed the artichoke.
Yeah.
A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of wine,
No. You're gonna do olive oil.
Yeah.
A little bit of garlic.
a little bit of garlic.
Slives of garlic.
And
We
you
let
put
them cook a little bit. Then you put
in the oven?
No,
On
on
the
the stove. On the stove. Okay. So basically, you have a skillet, olive oil, slives of garlic. You just let it sweat a little bit. You put the artichoke on it. You let the artichoke color a little bit.
Mhm.
Then you deglaze it with white wine.
Mm-hmm.
We let the white wine evaporate. Then you put the liquid. When the liquid is done, you cover them. and then you put them in the oven.
Okay.
Because if you put the artichoke as is in the oven, that without color, it's not going to have any.
Now, I know people have done that before, where they've just put it directly in the oven.
Well, I guess
So
you could,
when they
yeah.
do that, it doesn't have as much flavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't. So you can't, if you wanted to do something that didn't use as much oil and you wanted to just bake it, you could probably just cover it with a little bit of olive oil and then put it in the oven. It wouldn't taste as good.
No, it won't taste as good,
Okay.
but yes, you can do anything you want. Yeah. Or you can slice them raw.
Actually, I liked that piece that you gave me. Actually, it was very good.
Yeah. For example, you cut them very thin, very, very thin. You put them in a bowl, which is fantastic. Think about
I love this way.
think about a piece of fish.
Yeah.
Just a little bit fancier, white fish, salmon, whatever you want. Actually, I think a white fish would be better. Fancier on the pan, okay? And when it's cooked, you put a little bit of fennel and artichoke salad. So you get this artichoke like that. You cut them really thin. You put them in a bowl. You slice the fennel very, very thin. Put them in a bowl with the artichoke. Lemon juice, olive oil, salt and pepper, a pinch of mint, okay? Some crushed pine nuts, unless you're allergic on it, okay? You toss it, salt, and then put it right on top of the fish. This is your sauce. Actually, this is your healthy sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody put all these sauces on it, but when in season, this is phenomenal. When we were in Sicily, for example, I don't know if you remember, at the market,
Oh, yes.
one of the classical things they do when the artichoke like that, they clean them. They just take, actually, when they're fried, they don't even peel too much. They peel just the first leaf on the bottom here. And then they cut them. They stuff them with herbs, garlic.
So delicious.
And then they put them on a charcoal. Barbecue on a charcoal. And people just buy them. You could smell them all over the market. And people go there, buy 3 artichoke on a charcoal, like that. Nothing else. Nothing too fancy about it.
We need to start doing this in North America.
Yes.
An artichoke barbecue. Hey, wouldn't that be great?
And yeah, and that's another thing. We can cook this on a barbecue. They are so versatile. They are so healthy. Then you can do many things.
So I think what we're going to do is add the recipe that you're going to be doing at Ciel. We're going to add that to our website, oliveyourlife.org. So you'll be able to see that.
Yeah.
Hopefully this gives you some options and ideas on how to cook artichoke, because it's difficult to do it just specifically one way. But let's say you want a risotto. Let's say you want a pasta. Let's say you just wanted to have a salad.
Yeah.
How would you do that? If you just wanted to have as a side dish with a protein, artichoke is so healthy for you and a great option. So it gives some ideas on how to make it.
There's so many things you can do. Yes, absolutely. I mean, one of the other things that is preserving them, pack them, or like even char them a little bit on a barbecue, and then preserve them in a little jar with olive oil, garlic. Pack them into jar and preserve them for a year.
Yeah.
So you have artichoke marinated in olive oil. That's delicious.
So we're going to have 6 recipes that Dario is doing at Ciel with different vegetables. So we're going to add that eventually to the website. And if you're on our mailing list, and how to get there is to go to our website and add to subscribe to our mailing list. Or if you want to download our free ebook, you get added into our mailing list, and then you'll be the first to know when the recipe's up, and then you can be able to try some of those. They're really, really good.
Well, it's delicious. They're beautiful, delicious things.
And if you want to try Dario making it, come on over to Ciel, and you'll be able to get a sample of it, which is great. So the other thing, or did you want to talk more about artichoke?
Basta,
we're done. Now, did we talk about the stem? Did I miss it? We just cut it along with everything else?
Yeah. So let's think about the artichoke. Is actually, if you see it.
Yeah, I mean, but stem is very long.
It's fairly long. So you cut. This is a good part to eat. Did you remember that I trim all this up?
Yeah.
Because this is delicious to eat. This is super, super delicious. So what we do, we peel it, and when you cook and you braise, it's delicious to eat. So we keep that.
We do that with so many things.
Right.
There's a lot that I've learned from you. So broccoli, we eat the stem of the broccoli, we peel the outside, we use it as a dip. There's so much that's put to waste. And I don't know if anyone has seen our video that we did, the Anita Dario Show, where we interviewed Farmer Lee. I always forget. Anyway, Farmer Lee, he's phenomenal. And he talks about carrots that he used to use the top of the carrot.
Yes.
And then we would throw out the bottom of the carrot. Now you know that you can use both. So there's so many great things that can be done with different vegetables and different ideas. And I love some of the vegetarian and vegan ideas that people have come up with making food.
Do you remember what he was saying, Farmer Lee? He actually said that at one point people were eating just the top of the.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's my point. And then you throw out the rest of it.
It's insane. Look at this.
So anyway, so we wanted to. I don't know how much time we have here.
Plenty of time.
We have 5 minutes, Dario.
We have more. We're gonna extend it today. Easter special.
And we didn't do it on Sunday, so people could have time with their families. That's why we figured we'll do it today for the Anita Dario Show.
Pasta Alla Norma?
Yeah, so we're going to share some of the recipes. Pasta Alla Norma. So when we were in Italy last March, of course, the food is phenomenal. My favorite dish was the lemon dish that I had, and we talked about that last time. And this time, we are talking about Dario's favorite dish that we had in Sicily, Pasta Alla Norma. Explain.
Which is super, super, super simple. I mean, obviously, when you are in Sicily, one of the main vegetable used is eggplant. Eggplant, artichoke, eggplant, fennel. A lot of those vegetables are used commonly. A vegetable like eggplant are used for caponata. Okay,
so good.
Which is a condiment, almost like a sweet and sour condiment. And of course, we use for melanzane, gratinate, eggplant, gratinated eggplant. Rolled eggplant on a barbecue, stuff it with breadcrumbs, fresh herb, mint, and then pasta alla norma, which is basically this eggplant. They're not necessarily, here's the funniest thing. They're not necessarily peeled completely. If the eggplant are perfect, maybe they take a couple of strips of the skin out. Otherwise, they keep everything out. They cut them in cube, they salt them, and they press them. So all the impurity, all the bitter water of the eggplant, because eggplant are fairly bitter. If you eat them raw like that, you can taste them very bitter. Put some coarse salt, and then we press them so allows all the impurity to go out. Those eggplant, now, the way they do it, they fry them, okay, in a little bit of oil, okay, and then they saute them with a clove of garlic, maybe a little bit of onions, but I personally think that garlic is better. Fresh tomato, and the tomato was just something the most incredible thing you could ever eat because it's so sweet. Basil, maybe a pinch of oregano, okay, and then you toss your pasta. So basically, think about a tomato sauce with this beautiful fried eggplant in it. The variety could be a pinch of mint, a pinch of basil. I use the word mint often, because in the southern part of Italy, especially in Sicily, mint is used quite a bit. Grains are used quite a bit, nuts and dates and all that, because it's close to Africa, close to Morocco, and there's a lot of influence from the Moroccan culture. But this pasta is quickly tossed with some the eggplant, the tomato, fresh mint, and basil, and then finish with this beautiful salty ricotta.
You're making me hungry.
Which is a ricotta, okay? They're aged, preserved in salt, and then grated at the end of it. The best thing about this pasta at the end of it, good Sicilian olive oil on top of it. And I mean,
basta.
The pasta is just the most delicious thing. What it is freshness. There's nothing really fancy on this dish. There is eggplant, there is tomato, and there is ricotta. That's it. And the pasta is just a condiment. But one of the most important things that bring us to our principle is what's so special about this dish? Aside from being delicious, is brings everybody together. Is a dish that mothers would do on a Sunday. They will put in the middle of the table. It will be quiet for the first 5 minutes, and then everybody start breaking down. It's almost like you're confessing yourself, and you're spilling all the all the stuff that happened during the week.
I love it.
And you have the delicious thing. Is this is what we talk sometimes about, the real principle of the Mediterranean living. Conviviality at that table. Everybody sharing, eating adventurous and discover something that makes you excited. The simple things, and they give you the memory. Then sometimes we ignore it. It's easy for us to just eat something quick, standing up. I say standing up like horses. The way the horse eats, all the horse eats standing up.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting down, enjoying and flavor those little things, experience those little recipe, right?
And I love it. I mean, I always love getting together. We always promote eating together and cooking together, but having that moments, I mean, I love the Italian phrase, you don't age at the table, but any age can be at the table. And I just find this a time to talk and to, I used to do this with the kids. I'd say to them every dinner time, what are the 3 great things that happened today? And what are the bad things that happened today? And it would bring up conversation, and it would help come up with ways to be able to cope with things that you're dealing with or whatever. And it would bring that conversation. And I think that's where everyone gets together, any age, and you're all the same. And that's what it's about, right? So.
Exactly. And you know what? Can you imagine one ugly thing like this can make people happy?
Actually, I think it's kind of pretty.
But it's something delicious, something that is convivial, something that is to cherish. And the most wonderful thing about it, how many ways you can eat it.
Yeah,
that is the most incredible thing. And sometimes we block ourselves and we don't allow ourselves to discover a little bit more.
And I still have the thing where you're sitting at a restaurant and you're sucking on it as an appetizer.
It's called pinzimonio. That's what we have. Pinzimonio,
okay.
Which is actually exactly what Anita's saying. And it's served most of the time at a restaurant.
Yeah.
They will bring in the artichoke, maybe a little bit cleaner than that, with the remove outer leaf. They're going to give you a tray. They're going to give you some artichoke. They're going to give you some fennel, some radishes, and then the pinzimonio. What is pinzimonio? Pinzimonio is oil, salt, vinegar, or oil, salt, lemon, okay, pepper at your table, and you start. I remember that it was one of the first things when the word vegetable specific in the spring and summer. My grandmother would put in the middle of the thing. The first thing she would put was a pinzimonio. Because it was an encouragement moment. Because, as a kid, you like that acidity, you like the lemon, you like that thing.
I still do.
But amazing how to introduce your vegetable.
Yeah.
And she used to put on a big table. So before we start, that's what we eat.
Yeah.
And sometimes if there was some left over after lunch, or because most of the time it was a lunch or even a dinner, we would finish the pinzimonio. Because it was such of a great thing. And you embrace the freshness of those fresh radish from the garden, those fennel, those beautiful, beautiful flavor. And my grandmother used to say, you know what? This is going to clean your mouth now. Whatever you eat is going to cleanse your mouth. And it does. Vegetables have a lot of nutrients, a lot of beautiful things in there.
We had a lot of vegetables. My mom would juice every day, but I never was brought up with artichoke.
Yeah.
Eggplant, not really as much either.
But your mom would juice everything.
Oh, my mom would juice all the time. Every dinner would be some kind of a juice of some kind of a vegetable or fruit or whatever. Anyway, we're running out of time here. So I just wanted to say, if anyone has any questions, please put them in here. We can't see any questions that you have right now. So if you have any questions about anything that we had today, please put it in the YouTube link below. Anything that you have. We have other recipes online. We've had this great, and everyone is raving about it. Healthy eggplant parmigiana that we've done in an air fryer. That was a healthy version. It's so delicious. We got some great recipes at oliveyourlife.org. Again, the retreat, I don't know how long it's going to last, but we do have other ones that we're releasing. Yeah. And I guess that's it. That's all she wrote, Dario? Do you have any wisdom to say, my dear?
Easter Monday. What wisdom? Go to the store, grab this beautiful artichoke and start to experiment. And there is no such a thing as a bad dish. You just got to try it. And maybe you like it. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, everyone.
The Anita and Dario Show. The art of savoring, discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment. Savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath. unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking the Mediterranean way.